all about the NSS postings and allowances, go to our social media handles. At GTV Ghana, you can get it there and watch it. I am Altiti Saida Sadiq. Now on this side, we're talking a lot about the blue economy, all about the ocean. There's a conference that's aimed at reversing marine pollution and enhancing the management and restoration of the marine and coastal ecosystems of the nation. My guest will tell us what the blue economy, that term, even refers to. But we'll take a look also at the livelihoods and jobs that marine technology and all of that is seeking to create. Now, the one-day conference by the Maritime University, who are championing this, will engage the stakeholders on various topics related to the blue economy, which they will tell us all about it briefly. Sustainable development, economic impact, industry attention, and all of that. In the studio this morning, to delve more into this, from my immediate left is Alex Kojo Abayate. He's the SRC President, Regional Maritime University. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And to his left as well is Aqua Swansea Henry, SRC Vice President, Regional Maritime University. Swansea, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We're having very insightful conversations early on, and let me start with you, Abayate. What's this conference all about? You tell me why you don't have female SRC reps on this table this morning, though a bit later, but tell us about the Conference of the Blue Economy.
Okay, first of all, let me say a very big thank you to you and then your producer, the audience who are listening from home, far and near, the staff and management of Regional Maritime University, Ghana Maritime Authority. They are one of the very main people who are helping us make this a reality. So the Blue Economy Conference basically is being organized by students of Regional Maritime University. Once again, I'm Abayate Alex Kojo, the SRC President. Currently, the blue economy is being explored. It is one of the most talked things in the maritime space. The blue economy has the potential of raising a lot of revenue for the country. So if you look at our theme for the Blue Economy Conference organized by RME SRC, our theme is employment in the maritime industry, a catalyst for economic growth, the role of government, in the university, and in the industry.
Right.
Yes, so that being the theme, we are looking at how best we can be able to bridge the gap. We are looking at how best we can be able to create more awareness about the blue economy.
That's
and then the ocean health
in the
yes.
marine space.
Yes.
You'd give us more about that, but let me come to Swansea. Swansea, what's the blue economy term?
Okay,
why was it even named? Like, what is it about?
Thank you very much. I want to use this opportunity to also introduce myself. My name is Aqua Swansea Henry, and the SRC Vice President for the Noble Institution. Okay, so when we talk about blue economy, we're talking about our marine environment, how you use the marine environment in our sustainable development. Okay, so as you can see, in Ghana, in the world, we have the water body is much greater as compared to the land. So you can say that most trade are being done by the sea. So I think that we should focus on our water bodies as well, because in Ghana, since the import and export are being done, and which help us in sustainable development, we should focus on that.
Okay, from the sea, because
yes,
we were saying that all the containers that are coming with the goods come from the sea and the ports. Abayate,
yes,
he talked about development, sustainable development. How is this whole blue economy conversation tied to the SDGs?
Okay, so thank you very much. When we look at the SDGs, they are all intertwined. Someone who say the blue economy is tied to SDG 14, that has to do with life below water. Yes, but then I would say the blue economy actually starts from SDG 1.
That's the no poverty
and hunger. Because once the blue economy is being maximized, once we harness the potential of the blue economy, there will be no poverty, there will be no hunger, there will be gender equality. All these things are factored in the blue economy. So I wouldn't want to limit it to only life below water. But then, that notwithstanding, ocean health is very important. If we don't have the ocean health in place, if we don't have a sustainable plan for the ocean, for the water bodies, this trade we are talking about, that we have over 80% of world trade going through the seas.
sea?
Yes, we wouldn't be able to have it as much as we do. And also, if you don't have life, which carbon emission and all these things, we wouldn't be able to conduct trade. There will be loss of life, and then the SDGs will not be met.
So definitely there's an impact of climate there. What are the avenues that we're looking at, exploring to be able to push this sustainable development, jobs for marine people and all of that? What are the avenues?
Okay, so this is where I am very particular about the Regional Maritime University. The Regional Maritime University has the potential to handle, let me say, all blue economic activities. But then I would say we are little curtailed with resources. So I think policies should also come in place. When we talk about employment in the blue economic industry, I will commend the Ghana Maritime Authority for pushing the cabotage law, the cabotage bill, which is now a law.
Okay.
Yeah, which has to do with employment for Ghanaian seafarers within flagged vessels in the country. That's the first aspect. The second aspect has to do with research. It will cost you over 2 million Ghana cedis to get a vessel on board to run for 24 hours.
I know we're using a lot of Chinese trawlers on the sea, right?
So if it will cost you that much, then that should tell you how much a research vessel alone will cost you.
Right.
And also the Regional Maritime University has been advocating for a training vessel for students for a while now. It's one of the places that we should be able to explore. Once the students are trained, exporting them like the Philippine style of, let me say, human resource exploration is best. Philippines is earning over billions of dollars a year from exporting their seafarers. They started with over 2,700 seafarers in the year somewhere 2009, if I'm not getting it wrong, to European countries. They were sailing the waters, and then the remittance is huge.
Right.
You're looking for economic impact. You're looking at foreign exchange. This will bring us such.
Right. So when we take the Philippines as a case study, we're looking at when there's available resource, you're able to, especially when you're linking industry to education, that is the practicals you want to see with having a practical vessel to be able to, get more knowledge into. Swansea, fishermen have been complaining. Climate change and all of that. Green Ghana Day was just celebrated, was marked. It's even going to be marked tomorrow because that's when the tree planting is actually being done by the president. They say when they go on the sea, they catch a lot of plastic waste. What's this conference going to do to change the mindset of people, the attitude towards how we cater for our oceans?
Okay, thank you very much. We need to start by saying that what is the cause of the plastics being in the sea? You can see that the plastics come from the land, and I think that we should manage to see how best we can see the plastics, how we can
recycle
exactly to prevent them from entering the sea. But then we also have to. I want to acknowledge the Ghana Navy for their good works. That they always see that our seas, our water bodies are being good for. Work. But I want to say that the fishermen, we should educate them to see how they can preserve the water bodies, or how they will see that the plastics, for example, in Regional Maritime University as SRC, we have some NGOs which come together, like the Plastic Punch. Right. We organize cleanup for the beach as yes. So we
to keep our beaches
exactly
clean.
So we educate our students that me as a nautical student, I want to be at sea.
Yes, you said you want to be a captain, so you'll be in the ship, but you want clear waters.
Exactly, the sea is my home, so I have to make sure that my surroundings are being clean. So I think that the fishermen and the government should also ensure that the policies that affect the cleanliness of our water bodies should be well enforced.
Right.
Thank you.
So policies in place on all of that. There's elsewhere they have marine police. Sabayate, immediate solutions that we can look at. What can we do? There's liquid waste also being dumped into the ocean. Some would say, well, maybe we should use it to fertilize our farms. Why is it being dumped into the ocean?
Yeah, so the first thing I'll say is my old boy, that's my dad. He would say, if you're looking for security, the very first person is who you are within the house.
Right.
He's the first security for you. if you're looking at marine police like elsewhere, the first people, I'll say, the natives of the coastal communities. Why not explore the natives? Let us educate them. One of the very few people that I am very, very passionate about when it comes to the maritime industry, and he's a musician, is Kofi Kinata.
Right, it's true.
Look at Kofi Kinata's song. He sings Infante. He sings the Tadi stuff. You understand? And then when he does that, the people get to understand. They feel like it's one of their own. And so the fishing practices, from my end, the bad fishing practices is reducing in somewhere around Takoradi in the coastal areas because they have an advocate. He was recently named ambassador for
the oceans.
Yes,
I saw.
Yes, just last week, government of Ghana hosted the Blue Economy Summit.
Right.
Yes. So why not use the natives of the various coastal lines?
As ambassadors.
The Regional Maritime University is always available. We are there. We are taking initiatives. We are moving to the communities. We are educating them. We will have our 65th anniversary this year.
Right.
And as part of the 65th anniversary, we are having a health walk. We are having a massive community engagement to be able to educate them on the sustainable use of the ocean, the dumping. Plastic Punch is doing beach cleanup exercise. Initially, I was not in support of that until I got to find out that they are not, because I am.
Why were you not in support? Because you think that still the attitude
exactly.
will continue.
My question is, why would I why would I go and pick trash and then they go and dump? I go and pick one, they dump 3 in.
Yeah, right.
But then I got to realize that we are actually picking and segregating to inform policy.
Okay.
Such that if we are picking 5 bottles in a day, from the beach, we know that Belacqua, or let me say Awake, should strategize on how best they can be able to reduce and then recycle the plastics. Yes.
I was going to say that, do you think that they're doing enough, these bottling companies, plastic companies, to, rid our communities, our beaches, our water bodies of the residue of their products after we finish using them? Because that's what you find. With their CSRs, are they engineered towards those areas, or they just, I make my money, I go my way?
I would leave that question for the government and policy brokers.
Do you see anything like that, Swansea?
Okay, so I want to say that the bottles or the plastics we find in the sea, I think that those who produce it should also find means and ways to also recycle it, because I believe that when we send these things out there, it's all money. So if we recycle all these things, it can be useful to the society, not to enter into our water bodies.
Do you think for COP27, I know that when they sat in Egypt, the commitments that various governments and countries made was to, push to get financial inflows to change climates towards technology and all of that, have young people have organizations that can, push climate change for the better. Do you see that happening? Do you see young people owning organizations into advocacy of, waste management, better flooding, structuring of our communities to prevent flooding and all of that?
Okay, I can see that there are some NGOs around which are advocating for such policy. But then I believe that we can do better. We can do better so that our water bodies can be useful to us and to be useful to the community as well. So
is such education there at the Maritime University about avenues you can go into? I know that we have a lot of issues with regards to financing companies. When a young person wants to start a business or a company, they look at capital. Are there?
Yeah, so for Regional Maritime University, we support initiatives. The university supports initiatives. Let me talk about the financing. I was just at the Blue Economy Summit organized by the SDGs Advisory Committee to the President last week. And then it was clear that they are investing. The World Bank especially is investing. I saw $1.5 billion US for research into maritime stuff that has to do with ocean health. You understand me? That notwithstanding, I think the Regional Maritime University has everything. Let me say everything except the funding and then the resources. Is it human resource? I have one lecturer who is very passionate about the marine environment. When it comes to UNCLOS, he's called Dr. Brian Maxton.
Okay.
He's an expert when it comes to
these things.
Yes, these things. And then I believe.
So is it the advocacy?
The
Maybe
advocacy,
people don't
yes.
hear about where to go to.
The Regional Maritime University
get
is
help.
doing its best, but the little challenge is we are a diplomatic institution, and so sometimes we can't be able to step on the toes of some governmental institutions.
Most definitely, because the policy bearers and all of
Yes.
that are the helm of affairs. But tell us about the conference, activities lined up and all of that. We have to dash out.
It's going to be amazing. First of all, let me put a request for the conference. I don't know if you are listening to me. Kofi Kinata, we really would be glad if we could get your performance at the conference. That's for the first one. The second one is the conference is geared towards bringing the industry and then the academia
Together.
and the government together. For the
When is it
guests-
happening?
Yes, it's happening tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Ghana Shippers Authority, Accra.
Guests lined up.
Yes, we have the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry. We have the Director General for Ghana Maritime Authority, Director General for Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, CEO for Ghana Shippers Authority.
Okay.
The SDGs Advisory Unit for the Presidency, and then a lot of people.
Swansea, any young groups, student bodies coming in, fellow sister schools or?
Okay, so we invited our universities. We invited Legon, KNUST, and also our students will also be there. And we invite the general public also to just come and support
Tomorrow.
us. Yes, support us, advocate for the blue economy.
Right. Lastly, you talked about the lack of the few numbers of women in the marine space. What can be done to improve this?
Yeah, so as it stands now, Regional Maritime University has taken it upon themselves. We've told the marketing units of the university is touring the country to advocate about women inclusion and then the admissions in general. Our admissions are open still. We run a 2 admission system that is September and January. That is still open. But for women inclusion, recently IMO launched the WIMOCA, that's Women in Maritime. Yes, so the women are being encouraged.
They are being encouraged. And I'm sure your social media handles, when they go there, they know how to apply and get admission
Yes,
into
you
Regional
can follow
Maritime.
us on Regional Maritime University on LinkedIn, Twitter, IG, all the places.
Nice talking, great insights. Thank you for coming on the show. I've been speaking to Alex Kojo Bayate on my immediate left, who is the SRC President, Regional Maritime University, and Aqua Swansea Henry, SRC Vice President, Regional Maritime University, talking all about the Blue Economy Conference that's happening at the Ghana Shippers Authority tomorrow at 9 a.m. A clarion call to Kofi Kinata, who's an ambassador for the oceans, to come to that program. A lot about the opportunities in the marine
Hey yo, soundboy! I me I take punche for Ganshona. I live very close to the Colena. Hold your doors left phone corner. We do pung at the quick, more. We catch fish for the whole nation. She got no go feel no